The rain battered the windows of the upscale Chicago restaurant, its rhythm a dull roar against the clinking of wine glasses and murmured conversations. Caleb Johnson, a 28-year-old waiter, moved with quiet grace, balancing trays and flashing warm smiles despite the ache in his feet. His shift was nearing its end, the clock ticking past midnight, when a commotion erupted at table 12. A woman, dressed in a designer coat now crumpled, slurred her words, her blonde hair falling into her face as she waved an empty wine glass. The other servers whispered. She was Evelyn Hart, a billionaire heiress known for her tech empire and tabloid scandals. Caleb approached cautiously, his instincts sharp. Evelyn's eyes were glassy, her voice sharp with distress as she demanded another drink. "Ma'am, I think you've had enough," Caleb said gently, his voice steady but kind. Her gaze locked onto him, a mix of defiance and vulnerability. "You don't know me," she snapped, but her hands trembled. The restaurant manager signaled for Caleb to cut her off, but something in Evelyn's expression, a flicker of pain, stopped him from walking away. Instead, he knelt beside her. "Let's get you some water, okay?" he said, his tone disarming. She blinked, caught off guard, and nodded faintly. As he fetched the water, a drunk patron nearby sneered. "Why is he bothering with her? She's just another rich drunk." Caleb ignored the jab, but the words stung, a reminder of the stereotypes he faced daily. Tension simmered as Evelyn's behavior grew erratic, knocking over a glass that shattered on the floor. The manager hissed, "Get her out, Caleb, or you're done here." As Caleb helped Evelyn her feet, she stumbled, clutching his arm, and whispered, "Don't let them take me." Who was she afraid of? And why did her words send a chill down his spine? Caleb steadied Evelyn as she swayed, her plea echoing in his mind. The restaurant's dim lighting cast shadows over her pale face, and he noticed a bruise on her wrist, half hidden by her sleeve. His gut twisted. Was she in danger? The manager's glare bore into him, but Caleb couldn't abandon her. "I'll get her home," he said, his voice firm despite the risk to his job. Outside, the rain soaked them both as Caleb flagged a cab. Evelyn mumbled an address, a penthouse in the Gold Coast, but her eyes darted nervously, scanning the street. "They're watching," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the storm. Caleb frowned, glancing around, but saw only the blur of headlights. Was she paranoid, or was someone really after her? In the cab, Evelyn slumped against him, her perfume mixing with the scent of wine. Caleb kept his focus, texting his sister, Maya, to cover his absence at home. "Late shift. Don't worry," he typed, but worry gnawed at him. Helping Evelyn could cost him his job, or worse, if her fears were real. The driver's radio crackled with news of a corporate scandal tied to Hart Industries, Evelyn's company. Caleb's pulse quickened. Was this why she was unraveling? As they reached her building, a doorman hesitated, eyeing Caleb suspiciously. "She's with me," Caleb said, his tone leaving no room for argument. Inside the opulent lobby, Evelyn's grip tightened. "You're kind," she murmured, her voice breaking. "No one's kind anymore." As the elevator doors closed, a man in a dark suit stepped from the shadows, watching them ascend. Who was he? And what did he want with Evelyn? The elevator hummed, carrying Caleb and Evelyn to the 40th floor. Her penthouse was a maze of glass and marble, but the grandeur felt hollow, littered with empty bottles and scattered papers. Evelyn collapsed onto a couch, her eyes distant. Caleb scanned the room, noticing security cameras blinking in the corners. His unease grew. Someone could be watching them now. He fetched a blanket and water, urging her to drink. "Why are you helping me?" she asked, her voice sharp with suspicion. Caleb hesitated, then said, "Because you needed it." Her laugh was bitter. "You don't know what I need." But her guard softened, and she rambled about betrayal, her boardroom battles, and a deal gone wrong. Caleb listened, piecing together fragments. A hostile takeover at Hart Industries, whispers of sabotage. As he helped her to bed, he spotted a photo on the nightstand, Evelyn with a man who looked like the one from the lobby. His heart raced. Was this a coincidence, or was danger closer than he thought? He tucked the blanket around her and stepped back, his mind racing. He needed to leave, but leaving her alone felt wrong. As Caleb turned to go, his phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "You shouldn't have gotten involved." How did they know he was here? Caleb froze, staring at the text. His pulse thundered as he glanced at Evelyn, now asleep, oblivious to the threat. He typed a quick reply, "Who is this?" But no response came. The penthouse felt suffocating, its silence heavy with unseen eyes. He checked the locks, his waiter's uniform damp and clinging to his skin, a stark reminder of how out of place he was in this world of wealth and secrets. He considered calling the police, but what would he say? A billionaire was drunk, and he got a creepy text? Instead, he sent a voice memo to Maya. "I'm okay, but something's weird. I'll explain later." Slipping out, he scanned the lobby, but the man in the dark suit was gone. The doorman avoided his gaze, adding to his unease. Back home in his small apartment, Caleb couldn't sleep. Evelyn's vulnerability and the cryptic text gnawed at him. He Googled Hart Industries, finding headlines about a looming merger and rumors of internal betrayal. Was Evelyn caught in a corporate conspiracy? And why had she trusted him, a stranger, in her moment of weakness? The next morning, a sleek black car pulled up outside his apartment. A woman stepped out, holding an envelope with his name on it. What did Evelyn want now? The woman introduced herself as Clara, Evelyn's assistant. Her polished demeanor contrasted with the urgency in her eyes. "Ms. Hart wants to see you," she said, handing Caleb the envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. "Thank you for last night. I need to talk. Come to my office." Caleb's stomach churned. Was this about the text? Or something more? At Hart Industries' gleaming headquarters, Caleb felt every stare as he navigated the glass-walled offices. Evelyn, now composed in a tailored suit, greeted him warmly, but her eyes held a shadow of fear. "You didn't have to help me," she said. "Most wouldn't." Caleb shrugged. "It's what anyone would do." She smiled faintly. "You're wrong about that." She revealed her gratitude, a proposal to fund his dream of owning a restaurant. Caleb laughed, thinking it a joke, but her seriousness silenced him. "I saw your kindness," she said. "I want to invest in that." As Caleb processed her offer, Clara interrupted, her face pale. "There's been a breach. Someone's hacked our servers." Was this tied to the man in the suit? Evelyn's offer was no joke. A fully funded Japanese restaurant, his to own and run. Caleb's mind reeled. He'd dreamed of this since culinary school, but life, bills, family, stereotypes had kept him stuck as a waiter. Now, a billionaire believed in him. But why? Suspicion crept in. Was this a setup? Evelyn explained her vision. A restaurant showcasing authentic Japanese cuisine, a nod to her late mother's love for the culture. "You're the right person to lead it," she insisted. Caleb wanted to believe her, but the hacked servers and the mysterious text loomed large. He asked about the man in the photo, and Evelyn's face darkened. "My brother, Victor," she said. "He's complicated." That night, Caleb found a note slipped under his door. "Stay away from her, or you'll regret it." Was Victor behind this? Caleb's excitement about the restaurant was overshadowed by fear. The note's warning echoed the text, and he couldn't shake the image of Victor's cold eyes in the photo. He confided in Maya, who urged him to walk away. "This is too big, Caleb. You're in over your head." But the dream of ownership pulled at him, a chance to break free from the label society pinned on him. He met Evelyn again, pressing for answers about Victor. She admitted he opposed the merger and might be sabotaging her. "He doesn't trust anyone," she said, "especially not me." Caleb felt the weight of her world, but his resolve hardened. He'd take the restaurant deal, but he'd watch his back. As he left, he spotted Victor across the street, staring. Was he being followed? Caleb signed a contract, his heart pounding. The restaurant, a sleek space in downtown Chicago, was his to design and run. Evelyn's team moved fast, setting up suppliers and staff, but Caleb felt the pressure. Could he really lead this? Doubts crept in, fueled by Victor's looming presence and another anonymous text. "You're not one of us." Training began, and Caleb threw himself into learning Japanese culinary techniques, guided by a chef Evelyn hired. His passion reignited, but tension simmered. Staff whispered about his inexperience, and Victor's name surfaced in hushed tones. On the eve of the soft opening, a fire alarm blared. The kitchen was in flames. Was this sabotage? The fire was contained, but the damage was done. Equipment ruined, opening delayed. Caleb's heart sank as he sifted through the ashes. Evelyn arrived, her face grim. "This wasn't an accident," she said, showing him security footage of shadowy figure tampering with the wiring. "Victor?" Caleb refused to quit. He rallied the team, working late to repair the kitchen. Evelyn's support was unwavering, but her stress was palpable. Her company was crumbling under the merger fallout. Caleb saw her humanity, not just her wealth, and vowed to make the restaurant a success for both of them. A delivery arrived with no sender's name, just a box of rare Japanese spices and a note. "Prove you belong." Who sent it? The restaurant, named Sakura, opened to a packed house. Caleb moved with purpose, overseeing every detail, his team now loyal and inspired. Guests raved about the sushi and ramen, but Caleb felt eyes on him. Victor sat at a corner table, his presence chilling. Evelyn toasted Caleb publicly, praising his integrity. The crowd cheered, but Victor's smirk unsettled him. Later, Evelyn confided that Victor had been cut from the company board. "He's dangerous when cornered," she warned. As Caleb locked up, he found a knife stuck in the door with a note. "Last warning." Caleb confronted Evelyn about Victor's threats. She promised protection, hiring security, but Caleb felt exposed. He trained harder, pouring his fear into perfecting Sakura's menu. Customers flooded in, and critics raved, but the threats escalated. Slashed tires, more texts. One night, Victor appeared at Caleb's apartment, his tone icy. "You're a pawn in her game," he said. "She's using you to look good." Caleb stood his ground, refusing to be intimidated, but Victor's words sowed doubt. The next day, Evelyn called, her voice shaking. "Victor's planning something. Meet me tonight." Where was she? And what was Victor's plan? Caleb met Evelyn at an abandoned warehouse, her chosen spot for secrecy. She revealed Victor's plot to frame her for embezzlement, using the restaurant as a front. Caleb was stunned. Had he been a pawn? Evelyn swore she trusted him, but the warehouse felt wrong. Footsteps echoed. Victor emerged, flanked by two men. "You should have stayed a waiter," he sneered. Caleb's heart raced as he realized they were trapped. A gunshot rang out. Who fired it, and who was hit? The shot was a warning, fired by Victor's men. Caleb grabbed Evelyn, diving behind crates as Victor ranted about betrayal. Using his quick thinking, Caleb triggered a fire sprinkler, creating chaos. They escaped, but Evelyn was shaken, confessing her fear of losing everything. Caleb vowed to protect her and the restaurant. He contacted a journalist friend, leaking Victor's plot. The story broke, exposing Victor's schemes. Victor vanished, but a final text arrived. "This isn't over." What was his next move? Sakura thrived, and Caleb became a local hero, his story of compassion and resilience inspiring many. Evelyn rebuilt her company, with Caleb as a trusted partner. Victor's threats faded, but Caleb stayed vigilant, knowing kindness had opened this door, but strength kept it open. A new investor approached Caleb, offering global expansion. But their name was familiar, too familiar. Was Victor back? The investor was legitimate, a Japanese chef inspired by Caleb's story. Sakura expanded, and Caleb's life transformed, his family proud, his community uplifted. Evelyn became a mentor, their bond rooted in mutual respect. Victor was arrested, his schemes unraveled. Moral lessons here shows that compassion breaks barriers and integrity opens doors. Kindness, even in small acts, can change lives. Stereotypes crumble when we see each other's humanity. Every act of kindness ripples. Be the one to start the wave. Subscribe, share your stories, and let's inspire the world together.